Good afternoon to you, Your Excellency, incoming Governor of Rivers State for the 2027 election. Please, can you tell us about you?
First of all, my name is Lawson Angel, and I've left the country for about 2 decades now. But I think I want to go back home and get my place in order because I'm just gonna borrow a leaf from a Nigerian musician called Evi Edna Ogoli, who says that there is no place like home. When I go south, west, east, and north, I will always come back home. And that is true, and that's the fact. I've lived in several countries. I've lived in the Middle East, in Dubai, Qatar, and currently now residing in Finland with my family. So I think I've given enough to several countries and several governments. So it's the right time for me to go back home and really establish the River States on how it should be.
Okay, that's very good. Knowing too well, Angel, that you have the intention to go back home, can you tell us your background in terms of your state, where you come from, and your profession, and how you're going to reduce unemployment when you get back home and create employability for the people of River State?
I was born in River State. I'm originally from the Kalabari Kingdom, Buguma. That's where my parents all come from, both my mom and my dad. Okay, I went to my primary school, Port Harcourt Primary School precisely. Thereafter, I went to Enitona High School, and I got admission to study accounting at the River State University of Science and Technology, where I graduated from. And I also did my National Youth Service Corps at Borno State, Maiduguri. Then, as you know, I've also worked with the River State government as a personal assistant to the then Commissioner of Health, Dr. Amy Membre Otaji.
Correct.
That's where my grassroots political background came from. Then before ever I left the country to study overseas, and I've worked in different countries, as I've said to you. At this point in time, I think I've learned a lot, and I know how to bring back River State to what it should be, better than what it is now, and I know how to get those things resolved. So you were asking or talking about employment, generating employment in the country. First of all, what we need to do as a state, we should try and ensure to realize what exactly is the total population of River State, because without getting the total population of the state, you can't be able to plan. And you know, for sure you need that number for your planning purposes. But yeah, generating employment is going to be at the backbone of my governance, or being a governor of the state, because I know it's one of the things the state is highly facing. If you talk about insecurity, it comes from unemployment. If you talk about instability in the state, it comes from unemployment. So that is going to be one of the key things that my administration will really focus on resolving as I take to power in 2027.
Oh, that's a very good one. Taking into consideration that you mentioned that you're going to try to put employment as one of your key factors, meaning that you're going to reform some policies, if I would say.
Correct.
Now, taking into that River State is a particular concern, is one of the states that has got the resources of Nigeria in terms of oil. And currently we have a lot of oil spillage in the host communities, where you have the IOCs like the likes of Shell, which now is Renaissance, and other IOCs operating in that region. So how would you cope this oil spillage in these host communities?
That's a very, very good question. As you might also understand and to know that I have lived in several countries, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and now currently in Finland. These three countries, there is something very, very peculiar and similar to River State that I come from. For instance, when you talk about the United Arab Emirates, they are one of the highest oil producing nation in the world. When you talk about Qatar, the same thing applies to Qatar, one of the highest gas producing country in the world. So you all know that River State do have both of those natural resources, which they are not effectively using or distributing among the people. And when you talk about one of the most happiest country in the world today is Finland, where I reside in there with my family. So this mix of these three countries, I know what they are going to. When you talk about oil spillage or cleaning up the creek that is going on, really spoiling our state, River State today. Ogoni land as it is today, one of the technology that has been administered to clean the spillage in Ogoni land comes from Finland. So definitely I'll be working with companies like that to ensure that River State is well clean. We need to generate good clean water running from our tap the way it is in Finland. I could open my tap and take water. I don't need to buy water from the shop or anywhere. So doing waste to energy is going to be at the forefront of my administration. I will employ all the necessary tools, technology that requires River State to clean up its waterways, clean up its environment, because look at it, let me tell you something you need to understand. Today, the life expectancy in River State is within 50 to 55 years. But if you look at the life expectancy in the OECD countries, I'm talking about Organization of Economic Community and Development, developing countries in the world, the life expectancy is within 70 years and above. You could see the difference. It's because of some environmental and health factors that we're not taking care of in River State. It's the cause of this. So I understand this. I feel it. I'm a benefactor in this good living standard in this country. So I'll ensure that my own place is my home. I'll bring this thing to my people.
Okay, that's a very good one, Angel Lawson. I'll say the incoming governor for 2027. Now, taking very cognizance and particularly the way River State is couched with a lot of cultism, kidnapping, violence that is really emphasizing on the state. What are the measures that you're going to use to control or if not eradicate this menace in River State?
That's a very good question. It's still, if we talk about River State, the problems of River State, there's a lot of things to look at, a lot of things to resolve. And unemployment is one of those things that would have or is leading to the clash of cultism and community disarrangements in River State. So, as I've said, employment is going to be at the backbone of my administration. So, but in terms of security, we need to get back our state. We need to get hold of that state back. It's your home. The way you should protect your home is the same way you should look at River State. But first of all, one thing I will need to do is the people will take back their communities. So what I'm saying here is I will ensure that I'm going to employ as many as Rivers indigenes in their various, from their ward to their local government and to the state level, to ensure they take care of the security of River State. I'm going to work together with the federal government in doing this, or liaising with them to ensure the security issue is being resolved in River State. There are so many things I'll need to look at as well to ensure security situations in River State. I will employ technology. And you might ask me what kind of technology. There are many technologies to really employ. But I mean, I would not at this point in time disclose all these things because I'm already working in line with companies and people that will administer these things in the States. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine to hear. I'm also peculiarly about the River State because I was born there, and I know for the fact that those days we have free education, we have a lot of stuff. So tell me particularly, what will you do different to bring back the educational standard of River State and Rivers people to embrace the culture of how we met it when we were growing up?
River State educational system, at the time when I was studying, I did my primary school, my secondary education, and also my university education in River State. The time I was at the primary school, the educational standard wasn't that bad. It was at least good enough. And up to when we had started the 6334 educational system in the country, it wasn't bad. The high school educational system were not bad. But yes, there's one thing the people or the family struggle with: school fees. If you recall, sometimes your parents might not be able to pay your fees and you'll be kicked out of school. They cannot even afford your books, and you won't be able to meet up to the study standard, to say. And even at the universities, you all know what is going on during our time. That sometimes you're not able to afford the university fees, and you're not able to buy the handouts and books. So this also affects your study level. So, but there's one thing I promised the River State people. I'm a beneficiary of free education to my master's level in Finland. Definitely, I will bring back that kind of good educational level in the state. And I'm strongly considering that free education is something that is much, much doable for our Rivers people. And this is one thing I will bring to the States.
Oh, that's interesting to hear. Angel Lawson, our incoming governor of Rivers State. Now, I want to talk about the system which we don't have concern in terms of healthcare. What are the measures are you going to take in place to put healthcare as a pivoted item or agenda in your policies? How would you get healthcare to reach the communities, the urban and rural areas, and what kind of measures are you going to implement to make this robust?
Healthcare is something that I have a very peculiar interest in because, you know, my first paid job in Nigeria was working as a personal assistant to the Rivers State Commissioner of Health, the then Dr. Emi Membre Otaji. And as you know, during that period, we really undertook several measures to uplift and upgrade the healthcare system in Rivers State. In fact, we were one of the best in Nigeria because it's the first time they have the emergency ambulance system or medical services in Rivers State. So you could see the ambulances in Rivers State as at then. And don't forget, that was the first time in the history of Rivers State that you have a sort of free medical care for the younger and for the elderly in Rivers State. So I have been involved in these processes by the side of the governor and also the commissioner, as well the permanent secretaries and the directors that put in place all these ideas. But not to take it far away as well. Currently, my wife is also an healthcare practitioner. She manages one of the private healthcare institutions in Finland, where I am. And in Finland that I live today, we all have free healthcare going on in Finland. So that is one thing that I do envy in this country, and that is something that I've always longed for. That, oh, come on, we could do it in Rivers State. We could give our people free healthcare in Rivers State. We have the resources. Come on, look at it. Rivers State GDP, gross domestic product, is so high. We're talking about 23.4 billion in a year. All right? But look at the GDP in the state that I live in, Helsinki. They don't generate such GDP. But they're able to give their people free medical or free healthcare. We all have health insurance. As I speak here with you in the city of Paris, all right, if I fall sick, or if my daughter or my wife, any of us fall sick, we could just walk to the nearby healthcare here in Paris and get a treatment for free. We don't need to pay because we have an healthcare insurance agreement with a lot of European countries. So that is how the healthcare is so strong in where I currently live here in Finland. And I promised my people that, hey, we could do this. You can have this. When I become the governor, it's one of those things that I want to bring to my people, to the Rivers people.
That's brilliant. Now, taking into consideration that you've mentioned and touched all these critical areas, there are areas of particular concern that I want you to look at in terms of infrastructure and urban planning development. Yes, of course, we know Rivers State has had some changes, but how are we going to implement these changes to the urban areas, communities, where you need to improve the system in terms of flooding, drainage, because Port Harcourt, like you know, used to be the garden city. It is still the garden city.
Really?
So we want to hear what are the policies and infrastructural design and technology you're going to bring to improve the people of Rivers State.
That's a very good question. I've had this intention of ensuring that there's going to be a full business reform in Rivers State. Okay, it's not going to be a business as usual. So there's going to be a major business reform that will take place when I come to the seat of being the governor of Rivers State. So what I'm talking about, a business reform in the sense is that we will invite every stakeholder, both private, public, in Rivers State and also Nigeria. And we'll also invite our international partners to come into River State. So what are we looking at here? We're not just only developing the urban areas. We're not just only investing in the urban cities. So we should know the rural areas also, people live there. And what I've seen, where I've lived, that if you don't take care of the rural areas, you're going to overflood the cities. So a lot of people will be moving from the urban areas to the cities. Because why? The development is not reaching them there. So we've made mention about healthcare. I will ensure that they have a very, very solid healthcare system going on in the urban areas. The urban cities areas also, I will ensure that there is this power generation that's going to be extended to those places. As we talk here, we still don't have 24 hours electricity in the state. So that's a shame. It's a shame. So it's one thing that I'll really work on. One area is to ensure we start the waste to energy that could really also add to the state or national electricity grid for the people, so that the rural areas could benefit from that. Okay. So that is one thing I think I'll put in place when I come into in that sense of developing the rural areas.
Now that takes me to the next question. When you talk about waste to energy, you're talking about internal revenue generation. How are you going to improve the gross domestic GDP of River State to be much more robust and to get more people involved and transparency and governance? I'm adding two things in one now. So I'm talking about how would you improve the current GDP to accommodate the people of River State, and how you're going to get the governance and transparency for the people of River State?
To increase or improve the revenue of River State, it's something that is very much doable. What we need to first of all think about is ensuring that the people of the River States that we come from, we know them in numbers, on head count. But you cannot plan without knowing how many people is from your place or how many people reside in that state. So that is where we're going to start from, okay? So what I mean about that is I'm going to look at River State as a business operation. All right, when I talk about River State as a business operation, I will ensure that we administer an enterprise resource planning system in the state that will capture this data. We're not conducting any kind of population census. We'll be working together with the information that are out there. For instance, the NIN numbers and the BVN numbers already captured in the country. We'll extract the River State indigents, their populations data from there. Then those of them who have not yet been able to be registered, we'll try to encourage them to do so, because we need that figure to plan the state properly. But yeah, you made mention about generating revenue. And I've also told you here that the waste to energy is one way to, again, generate revenue for the state. All right? And we have those things a lot in River State. You shouldn't expect someone to come and clean up your state for you, no. Or your house for you, no. If you want to do that, you're going to pay a lot to do that. We can do it in our for our people. We can, as people of River State, we can do it. Just think where we are today. These people here in France or people in Finland, they developed their countries or their place by themselves before foreign investors started coming in. So one other way for me is to attract foreign direct investment would also be liaising with both international organizations that would be interested in our state, River State. So, and one area again is the waste to energy.
Correct.
Another way we're talking about is to ensure that we put River State in the map. In the map, what I mean is we're going to liaise with the Ministry of Aviation, Transportation. We have international airport in River State. It's going to be an hub. It's going to be a center in the country where most flights will be transiting from River State to other part of Africa or other part of Europe. So that is one major project that I really want to work on when I come in. So at this point in time I'm talking with you, we have only Lufthansa flying to River State. Come on. There are so many international airlines that have been flying to River State. We have the KLM, we have Air France. These airlines were coming, and so once in a while you have Turkish Airlines and other airlines were coming, flying straight to River State. I will make sure I will bring back those flights and other airline industries to Rivers State. We have an international airport. We should make use of it. It's a hub where cargoes and businesses can flow. And apart from talking about bringing back this thing, what is going on in our international airport there? Frankly, it's sad. It's sad to see. When you fly to Rivers State, you already have got that impression that, oh, where am I coming to? No, you flew to Paris. You saw the airport here. You flew before to Finland. You saw the airport there. You've been to Canada and other places. You can see how the airport looks like. Okay, come on. I'm gonna bring that place to an enviable state.
Thank you very much, Our Excellency, my strong comrade and somebody that I know in Rivers State that's passionate about Rivers people. Now, this takes me to the next question about youth and women inclusion. A lot of people come in and make youth and women inclusion as for campaigning. What are your clear policies and program you're going to put in place to get this youth and women inclusive in your policies?
What I understand, living in Rivers State, and also before I left the state, is that somehow the women in the state, not just Rivers State, generally in the country, they've not been given their rightful place in our society. Okay, that notion of the man is always going to lead the woman, that notion that a man should be more empowered than a woman, that ideology, I think it's something that we all need to sit down and address. I just made mention to you that my wife works with one of the biggest public healthcare providers, private healthcare providers in Finland, and she's a manager in one of their business units there. So she's a woman, all right? Because the government have enabled such society to exist in their country, so the women has got more equal opportunities in the state. So for us to achieve or attain such height, we need to ensure we build such society, that inclusive society for all of them. When you talk about the youth, I feel sad about the youth the youth in Rivers State, because frankly, if you don't give them education, if you don't really get involved in their upbringing, in their day-to-day stability, you will never grow up a society where the youth will not be restless.
Correct.
All right, so we need to cut this off and ensure that the youth have got also their rightful place in our society. Give them the enabling environment to grow. Give them those things that would ensure they feel welcome, they feel happy to live in their state rather than flying away. Okay? So we will work on that when I come. These are my plans that I've already built for years. Before ever I'm just thinking of coming to be the governor of the state. I've built these things. I have these old things in place. Things haven't changed.
Correct. Okay. Thank you very much. Your capacity incoming governor. Let's say if you're elected for the next 4 years, what leadership and legacy are you going to bring back for the people of Rivers State? What would you want the Rivers people to remember you for, in respect of all that you've said and all the policies, reform and initiative to waste to energy that I've heard you said? And I want you to give us a roadmap in terms of leadership and governors. How would the Rivers people remember you? Angel Lawson, the incoming governor for 2027, Your Excellency.
If elected. Good question, Rex. Growing up, there's always this slogan that Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. And it's true. It is what it is. That's true. We are the treasure base of Nigeria. In fact, we are the treasure base of Africa, I will tell you. All right? And you've also made mention about Rivers State being the garden city. It used to be that clean, fresh air we have in the country. It's kind of the most popular cultural place in Nigeria where people come to socialize. When they see the Rivers people, they take them on the very highest esteem. All right? Oh, this is a Rivers man. They are very sociable people. I mean, Nigeria should be proud of Rivers State today because the first Miss World came from there.
Correct.
So this is how we were as a people. But things have to really turn sour, and this is what I really want to come and change. It's not about promising this time because, frankly, there have been a lot of governors come and go, promising things they cannot do, or they don't even want to do it. So for me, I think I have the will, and I will be able to ensure I set my eyes and put my strength. I'll work hard enough to implement these things that I want to do. It's my state, it's my house.
Thank you.
I want my house to be as more beautiful as any other home you can see anywhere. This is what I want to bring for my people. Okay? So it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to say it's a walk by a park. No. It's require planning, day-to-day execution, and ensuring there is transparency and there is proper appropriation of funds in discharging all these things I said I want to do. But in the next 4 years, to God and man, Rivers State would be a place people will be proud of. It's still going to come back to that place when people stay in Nigeria that, oh, they want to go party, they want to go socialize, they want to go have a good nightlife. They fly all over the country and come to Rivers State and have that good time.
Oh, thank you very much for this lovely, thoughtful interview, Angel Lawson. We look forward to having you on our system back in Rivers State to see that the people of Rivers State embrace peace, the people of Rivers State embrace security,
Yep.
the people of Rivers State look forward to you, to knowing that the future is bright with Angel Lawson. Thank you very much. God bless Angel Lawson. God bless Rivers State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The same.
And God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Nice
Thank you.
speaking with you.
Nice speaking with you too. Thank you.
Thank you.